right, everybody, welcome back. This is the Spice Age. I think that's what we're going to call it now, the Spice Age. We went through a couple different things. I am joined by my beautiful and wonderful co-host, the famous Chef Matt Toomey from Mammoth, California. Chef, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Good morning to you. And yeah, life is great. Life is great. Weather's great out here, and I'm in my backyard right outside Yosemite National Park, and it's a pristine day out here.
It's 15 days. So it's, it's noon here in Ohio, so 9 o'clock out there.
Yeah, something like that.
Fresh, crisp morning. I know we were chatting before we got on the podcast. You were getting to spend some time with your kid. I know here in Ohio, we start school back on Wednesday. All the kids go back. My daughter's in from Florida. We're in this this really I like this like protected little ball of time where everything that happened during the summer and everything that's about to happen for the fall gets kind of encapsulated in I don't know, there's an energy here, and back to school supplies and the new clothes and the books and then it's making lunches again, and let's get back into a rhythm. I mean, I know you got to spend some time with your son. Did you guys have a good time when he was out there?
Yeah, he finished up his summer ball up in North Dakota. He played in Minot, North Dakota all summer. And I will say he was the only kid that played the entire season. Most kids check in for a couple weeks, get some reps, and then they leave. He stayed, played there was 65 games. He played probably 61 games total, which is, no one does that. He set the stolen base record. He led the team in hitting. He's 18 and he wants to be a professional baseball player. And I said, you know what? You deserve it. You put the work in. He came home last week. He's been here 1 week, and we've gotten more in the last week. It's not how much time you spend together. It's the time you spend together. And, we did some fly fishing. We played golf. Like, some people say, wow, it's weird to see you outside the restaurant because I'm always there. But I've made a commitment when he's home that I'll tell you what, my favorite thing that we did, we played wiffle ball in the front yard since he was 2 years old. And I got a bucket of wiffle balls and tennis balls, and they're all hammered, and they're all 15, 20 years old. And I just fire heaters at him. And man, you better have your you better have your glove ready, because he'll launch line drives right at you, and it's scary, especially the tennis ball wing. He'll hit it 105 miles at your face, and you better take cover. So we
Go ahead.
we got it all in. Tomorrow he goes back to Long Beach. He'll be the starting center fielder at Long Beach State Division I baseball, and he's doing everything right. When he's home, he hangs out with his friends, he visits with the elders, hangs out with his mother, hangs out with me. He's got good balance to his life. He works out. He kind of covers all the bases. He doesn't just go sit in his room and play video games or run around with his friends all night. He'll spend time with his friends. He'll go visit, some of his old teachers, parents down the street. He'll knock on doors and give them hugs. It's neat to watch, because I told him, I said, your character is everything, and don't go changing. Just keep getting up every day and being you.
I love it. Your parent advice is a line from a Billy Joel song. Don't go changing.
Yeah.
That's good. I love it.
Try to please me.
To try to please me. Don't go changing. That's right.
That's it.
It's so, I love what you just said about standing in the front yard. You gave me this nostalgic chill, just with the wiffle ball and the time, because look, I've got 4 children here. One in Florida. She's home now, but my kids are constantly like, they have this, I have to be entertained. And it's a screen, or it's let's go do this. And a lot of times, that comes with, let's put it clearly, it's a price tag. Let's say we go to Top Golf for the afternoon. Well, that's $150, but when my kids came home, my daughter came home the other night, you know what we did? We jumped in the golf cart, my older 2 daughters, and we took an hour-long ride around all 18 holes. And then we just putted through the neighborhoods and just cruised with the radio on and just relaxed. I mean, isn't that what it is? It's what can we do to just be in each other's space and find things that we like to do together and can share that time? You
Yeah.
know, I think when she leaves or when they leave and go around, I don't go back to the, oh man, that round of golf at Top Golf was great, or we had a great time at the trampoline park. It was like I
Yep.
just love driving around with my girls. You know, that was fun.
And
So
let
yeah,
me
when
tell you,
you
it's oh, sorry, I
no,
interrupted.
you're fine. You're fine. Yeah.
No, but I always say, like, every day I always say this, I'll want this day back. Even on my worst days, I could be having a day that's not really going my way, and I always say, when I'm older, I'm gonna want this day back, so you can always see the gratitude through the negativity when your mindset's like that, and don't, when the demons try to take over, you just always got to say, hey, when you're 80 years old, you're going to want this day back no matter what. I said it to my mother a long time ago. I was having a rough day, and she goes, how are you holding up? I said, you know what, I don't get today back, so when I pick the kids up from school, I'm gonna enjoy them getting in the car. And when I'm throwing wiffle ball to my son yesterday, I go, what would I rather do in 10 years from now? Look back and say I was on a boat with a bunch of people I don't know partying, or with
Yeah.
my son throwing wiffle ball in the front yard with a beat up tennis ball. No, and I'll tell you what, you got to get straight. If you think, well, I kind of wouldn't mind going on that private jet, then you're lost. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, a private jet would be wonderful, but we always have a saying, Mattman and I, okay, then what? When you get these things, then what? You get a private jet, believe it or not, you get tired of it after a while. And
Yeah.
all you want is family. Family and that true sense of connection.
Yeah. It's the reason why I started writing music is because I wanted a way to preserve some of the most powerful memories that I had in a
Hmm.
way that I could share with everybody else. So that
I
when I'm
love
on
it.
stage and I'm playing those songs, I can say, I wrote this song called Going South, and it was about when my daughter moved to college. And man,
I
she's my
love it.
oldest. She was my first one that went, and it just, as a dad, she moves 854 miles away, and it tears at your heartstrings. And you think all the time, like, what happens if she gets hurt? What happens if her car breaks down? But then in the back of your mind, I'm thinking, I think I raised her okay. I think I raised her
Yeah.
right, and I think she knows the right things to do. And if she needs help, damn it, she's going to call and she's going to ask for help. And you just trust that they're there. And, she has not stopped surprising me since she moved away. So, and
Yep.
I'm just,
Yep.
man, every day I look at that, I'm like, I thank God that I had that time with
Yeah.
her for those 18 years. I had that gift.
Yep.
But and
Yep.
every moment I get past that is just, it's a gift, man. Right? I mean, it's what
Yeah,
it
I
is.
love it. You are
Yeah.
you are speaking my language, and the blessing in getting older is realizing how important the moment is. Not even the day. Hey, you only live once and all that crap. But man, staying present and really just I always say that to myself. I don't get this day back, so I try. And then I ask myself too, am I truly enjoying what I'm doing, and if I have any doubts, I try to go, what can I do to enhance it? Like I can work every single day. I can enhance it. I make people laugh.
Yeah.
I tell people how amazing they are with a very sincere, it's not just, hey, wow, you're amazing, but I'll point things out in people that are true. Like, wow, you said this, and it really, like, letting people realize that I am listening to you. You said this. You told me that you and your daughter, when you had that time to head south with her, and you wrote a song about it. I go,
Hmm.
that really made me realize like how important time with our kids is,
Hmm.
Ian. And you just saying that right now, I'm going to remember that. We're going to head south tomorrow, not in the same car, but when we get down to Long Beach, believe me, my birthday's coming up. My son said, what do you want to do for your birthday? I said, I want to watch you reconnect with your teammates at Long Beach.
Yeah.
It makes me more happy than anything,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Human
Because
human
that,
connection.
that's everything you've put into him over his 18 years, blossoming. That's working on that garden and going, you know what? I did it. I didn't always make the best decisions, and I
Right,
wasn't always
right.
perfect, but
Yeah.
here it is,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and I don't even like when people say you raised him right. He's been his own person, and I just said I'm proud of you
Yeah.
for the person you've become, and I don't like to take all this credit, especially in baseball. They go, "Wow, your son's swing is perfect." They'll talk about his swing. Where did he learn that? I said, I don't know, probably YouTube. I just threw my arm out throwing wiffle balls my whole life, but yeah, and just, try, and I try to check myself. Don't like, people like to go, well, we joke about it a lot. I said, if you get in the big leagues, let's say, I'm going to sit there and go, well, I taught him everything he knows, be one of those dads. But that's our joke, because I just said, you know what, you put the work in. You're the one that observed good behavior, bad behavior, and you've created your own decisions to make your own path. Whether my examples or other people, every connection you have with an interaction with other people shapes who you are, you know? And I always tell people I learn more from negativity than I ever did from positive people. Yeah, it's great. You go, hey, like Mike Sweeney, one of my best friends, you get around him, you're like, I want to be more like him. But man, you see someone that's rude or obnoxious, if you don't like see that and go, okay, I never want to be like that, everything shapes you. So
Yeah. Now I have to ask you. You mentioned the wiffle ball bat. You mentioned the front yard. Is it the original, the OG, real thin yellow hard plastic wiffle ball bat?
Well, we have all these bats in the garage, and what's fun, the wiffle ball, he swung and the whole bat went flying, and the knob came off. So, and it's got duct tape on it,
Oh
and
yeah.
so we had to switch to. He'll use like his wood bat from summer ball. He'll grab
Yeah.
a aluminum bat from Little League. Um, if he crushes a ball, we try a different bat, and if I try to strike him out with different bats and different balls. We have all these combinations, but the original wiffle ball bat broke the other day.
Oh.
So, and instead of going out and buying something, we'll just turn a stick into it. We
Yep.
we we use whatever we got at home. We don't, some people, they like to go out and buy the next new thing. Right? That one's broken. We'll tape it back together. We'll, we'll, whatever. And I could tell. I think he's out in the driveway. I think we're gonna hammer some balls here before I go to work.
Well, that's great. Well, you know what? And this is a good time here. So,
Yeah.
we didn't get to talk about this at the beginning, and I know we've been doing this podcast now for a couple of episodes. So
Yeah.
thank you. So if anybody's jumping on, I just want to remind them that this is the Spice Age, and Chef Matt Toomey and myself, Ian Thomas Hayes. And then there's going to be a link button down there. You can like what's going on. You can follow us. We're going to be continuing to do this, but we have, it's somebody pretty special today, right?
Absolutely. One of the best.
Absolutely.
One of the
One of the
best.
best. We're going to go to a quick commercial here from our sponsor, Toomey Seasoning, which it's interesting. They got the same last name as you. How'd that happen?
I don't know. It's weird. And people always ask me, Toomey's, is that the same as you? I go, I have the same name as the guy that owns the company. So
It's just an odd coincidence, right?
it's so weird. Yeah. Who would have thought?
Coincidence. Who would have
Yeah.
thought? Yeah, man, I tell you what. So yeah, so we're going to go to a quick commercial from Toomey's, let you know a little bit about where you can get it and how you can enjoy it and spice up your life. But we are going to jump back in with your buddy, and who I'm super excited to meet, Mr. Eric Byrnes.
Yep. You're going to love him.
Yep. So give us a second. We'll go to commercial and we'll come back here. We're going to be talking with Eric Byrnes today. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Toomey Seasoning is a special blend of spices created by Chef Matt Toomey. It's a blend of kosher salt, garlic, pink peppercorn, and crushed black pepper, and it is delicious. It's a great addition to any meal, as well as a great addition to any care package for someone heading back to school. I know I always request it in my care packages. If you're looking to send a care package to a student in your life, head over to ToomeySeasoning.com.
Visit ToomeySeasoning.com. Sprinkle the deliciousness today.
All right, welcome back. We are here with the new podcast. This is The Spice of Life. I'm here with my co-host, Chef Matt Toomey, the Chef Matt Toomey from Mammoth, California. And today we are blessed to have on the show Mr. Eric Byrnes from California, MLB All-Star. Eric, how you doing today?
Guys, I'm fantastic. Of course, it's great to see both of you, specifically Toomey over there, who is just, there's something about him when he just pops up on a screen and he's got that big smile and he's got those cans on today, the whole setup. I mean, this is rare to see him outside of the restaurant. So what a pleasure.
Thank you.
And it's a pleasure to have you on today. As Chef and I have been talking over the past couple episodes, he's referred back to his relationship with you. And I just keep hearing story after story of these just crazy things that you've gotten yourself into, from a triathlon across the country to just learning this morning, 420 holes in 24 hours. Is that right?
Yeah, it actually happened right out here at the Half Moon Bay Golf Links, the Ocean Course. It was something kind of after the Tri-Cross America. It was one of those things where it's like, well, what's next after that? And I got invited to play in a 12-hour golf event, which basically, I think first and foremost, you have to be an ultra runner to do it because there's no carts involved. And then it's really just how many holes can you play in those 12 hours? And it was all very foreign to me. But basically, what happened is I was training for this event, and I was an okay golfer, not great. I mean, at the highest, my handicap got down to like an 8, but certainly, not where some of these other top speed golfers are. So I was training for this event snuck onto a country club because it's really hard to play and do this speed golf thing because obviously the courses aren't going to let you do it. But I snuck onto a country club, and I was out there. I was a number 10. I was like my 4th or 5th round of the day, and I duffed a shot off the tee, and then I ran up to it, and it was actually, I take that back. I hit a good drive. I duffed my second shot, and then I ran up to my third shot, and I was pissed, and I just took it with one hand and went whack, and I flushed it and stuck it about 2 feet from the pin. Walked up, tapped it in, and then bells went off, and I'm like, wait, hold on a second. What if I don't have to stop when I hit the ball? This could be a complete and total game changer. Sure enough, tried the next hole, it off with 2 hands just so I could get it out there, and then everything else was one hand all the way into the hole. So I think the average round, per minute was like probably like 46, 47 minutes. Wow. And then I played that last round that day in 41 minutes. And I just knew with less effort or equal amount of effort, with the running. And I knew at that point, I'm like, I could have something special here. So then went out and unofficially broke the 12-hour record. Guinness was not on hand for that one, but then came out here, brought Guinness out. And, there's certain rules. The course has to be at least 6,000 yards. You have to have it was actually 6 different PGA certified golf professionals to make sure you're playing by the rules. Ended up playing, I think the old record was 401 holes set by Ian Colston in Australia. He was an Olympic marathoner, and went out and ended up playing 420 holes and set the new mark.
Without getting eaten by a mountain lion, which was
true.
Tough to do.
That's incredible. Incredible. So,
yeah,
and then
I get a lot of different reactions. Sometimes it's the golf purists like to stick their nose up at it. They don't really understand it. Look, more than anything, I think all of us, the biggest thing is find what's next. Find what your next challenge is. There's always, we have to have something there. We have to have something we're chasing. We have to have something we're doing. If you're not, you're dead. So life's got to be lived. And that's pretty much the approach that I've always taken.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was interesting. So just learning a little bit your background from Matt, and then from Chef, and then getting excited about talking to you. I was I'm going through Wikipedia. I'm learning more. I'm watching YouTube videos of you and checking things out because here I am. I'm a country musician from Columbus, Ohio. I've been paired with Mammoth, California's top chef. I mean, chef extraordinaire.
Oh God,
and an expert coffee maker with a backup Keurig that I find out this morning. So. Byrnesy, you've got an impressive baseball career. And if I'm saying the wrong teams here, help me out. Mariners, yes?
Correct.
The Athletics, yes?
Yep.
Yep. Diamondbacks?
Yep.
Yep. And then Orioles?
Yep.
Yep. And then did I miss one there on that?
Rockies,
okay. You start out at UCLA, right? And then after baseball, we're at ESPN. We're doing Fox News. We're doing all these things. We're running marathons, triathlons. We're playing 24 hours of golf. Brother, what's your secret? What's the secret to your the good life? Because I hear you say, if you stop, you're dead. If you stop going, like what drives you?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a secret, right? Like this is, I think we all know what the answer is. And it's basically like do shit that makes us feel like a kid again. Do something that puts us in that flow state. Do something that excites us. When we pull our heads off the pillow in the morning, are we excited about what we're about to attack that day? And if you're not, you better start thinking about doing something different. So, for me, it's always finding that next. But part of the next is living in the now, and it's not trying to get too caught up in the past and too worried about the future. I think a lot of baseball players, and I love them. They're my brethren, right? I think a lot of these guys get caught up in that past, and they have a tough time trying to figure out, where are we going next, and what's, where am I going to redirect that passion? Because you have to, and if you don't redirect that love and passion that you had for the game, and obviously these guys who played at the highest level had that. But if you don't find an outlet, then it's not good. And I've seen it with some former teammates. I think more than anything, it's I'll try to lead by example is probably the best way to put it. A lot of these guys will look at me like I'm crazy and, dude, what are you doing, man? And I trust me, I've heard it all where it's like, oh, I did this for however many years, and I'm done with that now, and I don't have to work out anymore, and I don't get paid for this anymore. Yeah, bro, I get it, but was it ever about that? Like it was, we all had such an amazing opportunity to play professional baseball at the highest level, which, in a lot of ways is a lot of kids' dreams, and we got there, and that was the pinnacle, and it was really cool. But I certainly know that at no point, will I ever look back upon that. And people come up to me a lot in the last, what was this like, and this like, and this like, all about major league stuff, and it was cool. But I enjoy those conversations. It's fine. But what I really enjoy is when we talk about what's going on now. And so, even with the ultra marathons and the Ironman triathlons and the try across the country, or the world record, like all of that stuff was cool. But for me now, I play a ton of pickleball. And so like what excites me now at this point, like that's one of the number one things. I coach a national travel baseball team. We have a travel ball organization where I like to think that we're positively influencing kids' lives on a daily basis. And so the progress and the process of all of that is really what drives me. And then, No Filter Network, which is, my business partner who lives across the street here, and I we created, I don't know, about 4 years ago. And it's just been this process in building the technology. And then, from a content perspective, the podcast that I do, a daily hustle. And then with Will Clark called Deuces Wild. And like, that's the what's now, right? There's a what's next, and then there's a what's now. That's the what's now. And that's the thing that I think, motivates me. And that's what I get excited about each and every single morning. And, to each their own, but I think we just got to find what that is for every one of us. Obviously, not everyone's going to be into the same stuff I'm into, but I think more than anything, it's just about finding your why.
Yeah. And Chef, you and I were talking that before Burnsy jumped on. We were talking about our kids because we're all dads.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 4 kids here. We're just talking about your son coming back for travel ball. Chef, I know you can jump in on that one too. That it's almost like we all had the stage where we were on the stage, and now we're stepping back into the spot in the darkness to put our kids up on that stage.
Well, I'll tell you what, one thing that we gotta remember is the Byrnes family. The reason why I'm so honored to have Eric on our podcast is I could talk about what he is as a father, as a husband. That guy sets the standard so high, and everybody should want to walk in his path. He's raised 3 amazing kids. He's selfless. He will get up early and stay up late to get his own needs taken care of. But during the day, he's all about his kids. Him and his wife, Tara, there is no one on the planet other than the Sweeney family, which is a tie. Mike Sweeney and Shar are the same. But these people, you know what? They've worked hard their whole life to give it all back to their kids. And he has raised the most amazing 3 kids I've ever been around. They come into our restaurant in the wintertime, and every single time they only get better. his son Colton, who is an absolute prodigy of his dad, and just they're all humble, and they come from, they maybe they have a little bit more because they've worked harder for it, but you'd never know it. They're on the same playing ground, and they're kind, conscientious. His wife Tara, I'll tell you what, not a stranger walks in the room without her. She will include everybody in every conversation. Eric the same. Eric is never too busy to stop and be kind to others. And I know he's got a lot of accomplishments out there, but the biggest one is he's got a heart like no one else I've ever met. Other than and he'll agree with me, Mike Sweeney and the Sweeney family. I'm not just saying it because he's on our podcast. When people ask me, you heard me before Eric came on. I'll tell you what, amazing people. It's an honor, Eric, to have you just on here with us for 15, 20 minutes so we could talk about that.
Yeah, Toomey, thanks, man. I think that, the biggest thing when it comes to raising children is you got to hold them accountable. I think that, parenting has gotten, I don't know if you want to call it lenient, but I think there's this blend, right? Like back in the day, probably when our parents grew up, it was a little harsh and maybe a little too, I don't know if strict's the right word, but it was very militant. And then, I know just the way, my parents raised me, they gave me the freedom to fail. And that was the biggest blessing that they could have ever bestowed upon me, because it was through my failures that I was able to develop into the person that I am today. And then essentially build this parenting style that I have with my kids. And it's not perfect, and I don't always have the right answers. And I think it's really trial by fire when it comes to that. But, I got a 13, 14 to 15-year-old, and it's gotten to the point now where I really am grateful to hear things like, Toomey talks about, and, well-mannered and everything else. But dude, this is like I don't know if fight's not the right word, but every single day, it's just little things, right? The things that we talk about, Toomey, with, I know this very minuscule, but turn your sock back inside out when you take them off.
That's it.
Hey, that's just going to make your life better down the road.
It is. And it's show me how you do anything, and I'll show you how you do everything. Pay attention to the details. Leave people, places, and things better than you found them. These are all the messages. And my parents are stories. My parents, my kids, I'm sure they're sick of it, and they're sick of me, hearing all the same stuff that I've repeated, since they were really young. But here I am, 49 years old, and I'm repeating the same shit to myself. And the question is, if I go down wherever it is to a friend's house, a restaurant, whatever, when I go run, right after I get off with you guys, there's oceans right out there. There's an amazing trail. I'm going to go run. And at some point, I will pick up at least one piece of trash. Now, am I going to bring a trash bag with me and fill the whole thing up? No, I'm not. But there's one, could I do that? I could. But of course, there's a lot going on, a big day. I will pick up one piece of trash. I will make sure I leave that trail better than I found it. And so if we all live by that mentality, you don't have to do everything. You don't have to, because that's when we fail. That's when it's like, hey guys, I'm going to go get the big trash bag and I'm going to come out and clean everything up. It's like, no, that I will fail if I do that, because I will become impatient. I have things I need to do through the course of the day. But can I grab 1, 2, 3 pieces of trash that just happen to be right there? Yes. If each and every one of us did that, this world would just be a better place. And so that's the mentality that I try to live by. I'm not perfect, but I just feel like if I could do, a couple things through the course of the day that make this world a better place, and like I said, leave not only just places better, but like people better. If we have this conversation and you guys go home and you're talking to whoever it is, a friend, family member, and you're like, hey, this is a conversation that we had today, and it was really cool, and this is what I learned. Then I know I'm doing my job as a contributing member to society.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's
Amen.
fantastic. I love that. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. It's a struggle. Eric, I've got a 19-year-old, a 14-year-old, going to be 15, an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, and every day it's like, are we doing the right things? Are we putting them in the right place? And you don't want to see your kid fail, but you want your kids to understand what it feels like to know a little bit of that, so they understand what the success is and to appreciate it. Right?
We have to learn how to lose before we learn how to win. And I think that it's only through those failures that we're able to build the calluses that allow us to go forward. And look, when we win, in order to stay humble and stay kind and stay grateful, that comes because of our losses, because of our failures. So I think the biggest thing is that, none of us want to lose. I'll speak collectively as a human race. Like, we hate to lose. I hate to lose. But once I get that emotional feeling, out through my body, it's a couple deep breaths. And then it's like, okay, well, what can we learn from this? And what can we learn from our failures? And then how do we correct them and going forward? And that's life. That's everything life is about. But look, if you're not failing, you're not doing shit. You guys understand? Like, we're not challenging ourselves if we're not failing. If you just, you're on autopilot in the restaurant, Toomey, and you're just like, hey, I got, the meatloaf, the potatoes, and the Rumbauer, which is tough to go wrong on. But if you're not a little, especially as a chef, because you guys are so creative, if you're not changing a little of this, a little of that, and trying this, and it's tough, because we do have something that works, and we know that works, and the standard staple. But when I was with the Savannah Bananas, Toomey knows all about it, but basically, I helped launch them in 2022, the first world tour. And this is before anybody knew who or what this team was. But each and every single game, we would go out there and we would try 10 new things. And some of them were complete and total fucking disasters. It was an absolute joke at just these epic failures that took place. And then some of them were amazing. And so I've always kept that with me, be honest, like, okay, what could I try today? What could I do today that could potentially enhance whatever it is that I'm into? Let's just say pickleball. What shot could I try to pull out today? What speed up could I try to do? Two-handed forehand, two-handed backhand, a tweener through the legs on a speed up. Like, I think to myself, what is it that I can do to potentially push off? And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But ultimately, we have to figure out, we have to try new things, and it's incredibly important for who we are, not just as a pickleball player or a chef, but just as people.
Yep.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
well, Eric. Yeah, good. Go, Jeff, please.
What's that? Oh, no. To add to that, I always have a saying I was talking about with my son on the ride home the other night, that being right is overrated. I said, allowing a failure to happen and allowing other people to think a certain way without interrupting them by disagreeing with them, allowing them just to be who they are and not needing to get your point across all the time. There's levels of it, but I said, in general, I always have a joke at the restaurant. Usually I'm wrong, so don't listen to me, and it makes people laugh. And I go, you know what, though? I love screwing up. I've always learned a lot more from screwing up than I ever have done doing anything right. And Eric knows my whole story about the gas station. Talk about getting laughed at. Probably like Savannah Bananas, of people telling you, this will never work. What are you guys doing? And look at it now, and you were the leader of the pack. And I always say, real smart people try to doubt you a lot because they only think one way sometimes. And you got to let your imagination go wild sometimes and think like a little kid. little kids' imaginations. They think they can fly, they can do anything. And you know, if you're like a little kid and you believe, you'd be surprised. And you don't want to get older and look back and go, I wish I would have. Don't ever do that, you know, and do it today. Do it right in the moment. Like you say, stay present, and then look towards the future a little bit and be grateful for your past. But man, we're like, right, stay present. And a lot of it is remove your ego and just allow things to be instead of having to correct everything.
Yeah, and you know what, Chef, I agree with you 100%. When we launched into the music career, the higher end of the music world about 5 years ago, there
Mm-hmm.
are an unlimited number of people who told us we were crazy. You know, you're not going to be successful. You know, you have a better chance to get hit by lightning. I don't care. You know, if it's something that I'm going to be passionate about and something that I'm going to wrap my world around, I'm going to do it head first, head in. And, you know, on the other side of it, I'll evaluate what went wrong and what went right. But, you know, I just, you know, 100% Byrnes, man. Yeah, just appreciate listening to your thoughts on it, and your
Thank you.
passion for it, and just it's infectious, man. I'm just listening to it, getting goosebumps, thinking, you know what? I'm jazzed up again. You know, I might have had
All
some doubts
right.
yesterday, but damn it, let's go. You know,
Let's go.
I mean, it's just great. I'm like, I'm ready. You know, let's go, coach. Let's go.
All right.
I know you're a busy guy. I know you got a lot going on today. So Eric, I thank you for jumping on with us. I know, you know, Chef, you
Thank
know,
you.
we were just so blessed to have you here today. Appreciate what you're doing. Thanks for your thoughts. Thanks for your intellect, your passion. Just it was fantastic to talk to you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, man. And Toomey, bro, I've said for the longest time that you know, this guy needed a podcast. This guy needed to get on the airwaves and share the message of positivity, of love. Obviously, not a lot of knowledge in the cooking world, but the world's a better place with Matt Toomey
Oh, come on.
out in the public, man. Good to see you highlighted in the pod world, and you guys will be incredibly successful. So make sure to be consistent, keep this thing rolling. That's the biggest thing. I mean, as someone who does this for a living, consistency is everything. So, you know,
Thank
make
you.
sure you guys keep grinding, and there's gonna be a lot of people that listen to this and are inspired by it.
Thank
And
you.
Eric, we can catch you. So is it No Filtered? That's your podcast. Is it
Yeah,
daily? Where are we at?
So it's nofilter.net. We're actually a content creation platform. It's really cool. We actually record live. So I'll do two different podcasts. One is the Daily Hustle. Depending on the week, I might hit 5 shows a week on that. I might hit none like last week, just when I'm traveling and everything. But then every Tuesday, I do a show with Will Clark. It's called Deuces Wild. You can catch both those on all major podcast platforms. Even if you just go to the Deuces Wild feed on Apple or Spotify or anywhere, the Daily Hustles will be uploaded to that as well. But Will and I sit there and we'll have the Giants game on in the background, and we'll be watching, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's no filter. We basically just react to baseball, and we give our unfiltered, honest opinions and reactions. But you know, like Will and I talk about all the time, we're like, what value are we bringing to the show? Like, I'm not sitting here just to drop F bombs, and you know, I'm looking for dramatic effect or anything else. But what we do a lot of is hitting mechanics breakdown. We talk a lot about strategy of the game. Like to tell some old stories, and we involve the people. So that's what's so great about the No Filter Network platform, is that we do it live, and then we get the recording right after. We upload that recording, but during the live show, we'll bring people on with us. So imagine we're doing this just like this, and bam, we bring someone in, and then they get to be part of the conversation. So it's rewarding. I mean, that's like the thing I think that, you know, Will and I get the most excited about. Like, we might have 50 to 250 people on a live show, so it's not like these crazy numbers or anything. Then, you know, we upload it, and then there's several thousand, obviously, that do that, and then we take the clips and put them on social media, and then, I don't know, 1 in every 5 will go viral and get 1 million views. So that's the cool part about it. But I think the most rewarding thing is having those conversations with people, involving them. You know, you guys did say that really well, because when you talk about you know, you have the 2 ears in the one mouth for a reason. And I read a quote this morning. it's a bit ironic because you guys, you're kind of going down this path to me. But it was like something along the lines of the freedom of speech also comes with the freedom to listen.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I don't think about the people that we love the most in our lives, and that one person that's you guys know that everyone collectively be like, oh, there's Billy Smith or whatever. It's like, oh man, Billy, great guy. Well, guess what? You know what Billy is? He's a great listener.
Yeah.
So, there's a time for all of us to, spew and whatever you come on this podcast side, but this is everything in life. Everything.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Well, Eric, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Bless you, man. Hope you have a great day, and we'll catch up. We'll catch up with you soon.
Yep. God bless you guys as well. A lot of love, man. Good luck with everything.
Hey, everyone. Thank you again for joining us today for this episode of our podcast, The Spice Age. My name is Ian Thomas Hayes, and I am the co-host of the podcast, along with my good friend, Chef Matt Toomey, the creator of Toomey's Seasoning and the chef for Toomey's Restaurant in Mammoth, California. We're going to be bringing this podcast to you weekly, and we're very excited about all the different guests we have lined up and all the content we have for you. You can find this podcast at www.toomeyseasonings.com. You can also find the podcast at my website, www.ianthomashays.com, or anywhere else you listen to your regular podcasting. We want to thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed this, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you very much.